Welcome to Art and Soul Insider. I'm Barbara Lynn Burns, and I'm here to help you find your joy, your creativity, and calm through art and wellness. Whether it's exploring new supplies, guided meditations, or inspiring art projects, this is your space to recharge and create. So let's make more art and less stress together. Here we go. Hello, welcome to my world. I am so happy that you're here. I am glad that you're taking time for yourself, that we're just going to play today. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be trying some colors that I have never used before together. So I'm really excited because, I've pulled them out of my watercolor dish. But, my big dish with a cover, right? But you don't have to use watercolors. I encourage you to pick up some colors that you've never used before or used together, okay? And let's just play. No expectations. Just play and let this be our time to just experiment, right? I mean, so often we're so concerned with the final picture because I find our world is very, end result oriented. And it has its place. It is good. But sometimes what happens, especially with beginning artists and sometimes with myself, I don't do something because I'm afraid it might not turn out. And then I'll think it's a waste of my time, right? Because I've got other things to do, right? There's other things that are pressing into my life. But when I think that way, I'm missing the point. I'm missing the point that this time that I take for myself and that you take for yourself is a time for you just to close the door to the world and play. Studies have shown an incredible amount of alleviation of anxiety. Even it's helped with depression. Just when artists, I call them artists, but they're not artists. When people, just general people, are playing with art supplies and expressing their emotions, expressing how they're feeling. It can come in different ways. It doesn't have to be, again, us trying to express our feelings. It could just be trying to express the materials that we have. I find what is helpful is when I combine the two. Today, I'm not thinking there's nothing that I'm needing to get out. So this is just going to be a playtime for me. And I hope you join me. So let's head on into the next section. Okay, here we go. So you can see around me, I've got a whole bunch of different stuff. So I have my watercolor paper. Now, this is by Baohong. This was purchased by the online store Temu at quite a good price. It's 300 grams per meter squared. It's 100% cotton, so that's what you're looking for. And it's cold pressed. This is 10 inches by 10 inches. You can also find this paper on Amazon. Looking for paper? Those are two places you can go. Again, you can go to a craft store. They may have watercolor paper, and also good old art stores will always have watercolor paper. I find you want to get anything 110 pounds and higher. And I know they're doing these grams per meter squared. The old way, and I must be dating myself, used to be in pounds. And the pounds that was 110 or above. This is 140 pound. That's what 300 is. So it's a good weight. You don't need to get anything heavier, right? Like the 300 pound paper. This is just for playing. And as I mentioned, experimenting. So that's what we're going to do. Got our watercolor paper. I have divided it into sections. Here we have, again, this is 10 by 10. I believe this is 3.5 by 3.5. I could be wrong. What I did is I just measured halfway, right? Did a little tick, tried to find the center, placed the tape down, and I did the same way the other way. If you just want to create a one big picture, you can do that too. Do what you want to do. If you want to get a long sheet of watercolor paper, do that. Again, this is a chance, an opportunity for us to play. I've got my watercolor paper here, and I'll just go like this, put it underneath things. Oops, kaboom, kabang. I've got watercolor pencil crayons. So I have the watercolor pencil crayons because I'm going to be using them for sure at the beginning and at the end as well. This is an option. You can use watercolors if you just want, if you don't have watercolor pencil crayons. I'm going to do a neat little technique that I like, and it just works from there. So you can do that. Watercolor pencil crayons. I've got some pencil crayons. So I've got 2 sets. I also have a big container full of them, but I thought, I'm just going to bring out these ones that I have. These are Stadler Ergo Soft. Lovely colors, right? So I've got that. And I've got the Pro Color by Derwent. And colors are a little different in some ways. They're a little softer, I find. We've got that. Still playing with these. As you can tell, they're quite new, both of these sets. What I like about both of them is that the lead is soft. And so it's very smooth when you do that. It's wonderful for blending. So we're going to play with these more at the end of our work. Next thing, I've got brushes. I want to show you these. When my mom passed away, I might cry. I said I was going to not cry, but I might cry. So I got her a briefcase. And I remember growing up seeing this briefcase, and my mom would have her pastels in it and other materials. She worked with oils at the end, as well as she worked with pastel. These are 2 of her brushes. And it's really rickety, huh? But I just thought, instead of just having them sit there, I'm going to try and use them. So this is going to be, I'm thinking more for stippling. These ones I'm going to use with the watercolors. I'm going to be using the watercolors in a non-traditional way as well as traditional. We'll see how that goes today. So that's these brushes. These ones, I believe I got one from Temu and one from Amazon. But this is an O, and this is, I can't read it. I'm thinking a 3. Could be wrong, but there you go. There. So watercolor brushes. Again, if you're using something different, use the brushes that work best for your medium. I brought some palette knives. I'm going to be using, again, the watercolor paint in a different way. So we're going to use those. I have my lovely, lovely bubble wrap, which I love. Quick, easy way to make circles on your abstracts. I have a wonderful old this is like a coral kind of sponge. These, you can't get these anymore, thank goodness, because we're saving them, right? Instead of destroying them. This is really a tender piece of history I have, and I treat it as such, and I'm very grateful I have it, but I'm also sad that I, hurt a plant in doing that. So kind of comes with mixed feelings, this one. And I have a regular old acrylic kind of sponge here and one here. So this is sometimes nice for me to apply if I'm going to do any stenciling or anything. I don't have my stencils out, but this is just in case. Sometimes I bring things just in case. I'm sure you do that. I'm not alone. Then I've got a card, and I scrape the paint with this and cause lines and all sorts of things. So again, using the watercolors in a different way. I've got some wax. This is paraffin wax. And what I'll do is I'll be putting this on my paper, and it comes as a really neat resist. So I'm going to be using that. Hopefully, last time I wanted to use this, I totally forgot about it. And then I've got these for printmaking as well, besides the bubble wrap. So, good old from a cardboard box. And then we just put the paint on, and we get those nice kind of rigid parallel lines happening. So that is there. And I've got some paints. So these paints, well, some of them I have used. But majority, well, let's see if the majority. This is burnt umber. Have used burnt umber. Have used cobalt blue before. Quinacon Magneta. I've used that before. This one I haven't used before. This is a lemon yellow. It's nickel titanate. Okay, don't know what that means, but I think I got it because I like the color. And I put a W here to remind me it's a warm color. This is, I haven't used it. It's sitting in my box and I keep overlooking it. This is quinacridron violet. Sometimes with these ones, I'm not sure what the symbols mean. I have to look at what the aquarelle Schmincke watercolors mean. So probably this is a semi-transparent one of these, and this has to do with their light intensity. So 3, I'm thinking, might not be that good. This one I've used, but I don't remember using it. This is a cobalt violet, and a lot of old packaging here. This is indigo blue. This is a Winsor Newton. Now the Winsor Newton has changed their packaging, but it's a really, really dark blue with, just a little bit of a red in it. So I thought it would look nice with these. I've used that before, but it's been a long time. So these are kind of like long time ones that I've kind of used. And same with this, the Prussian blue. I thought that would be nice. So I've used it. And then, so we haven't used some, but I haven't mixed these together. So we're going to see what happens. And this is all about experimenting. A good way to experiment with this is create a color chart, right? But this is much more fun. So I could do it, but I didn't. There you go. So here we're just going to play with them. I've got my water here in a spritzer. I've got my 2 containers. One's going to be my cleaning water. One's going to be my clean water, where I'm going to dip my brushes in if I'm changing colors. I've got my towel, and I've got paper towels that I use every now and again, and my blow dryer. So let us start playing. First thing, I'm going to take my watercolor pencil crayons. I'm going to use a black. I was going to use a blue first. What's my intuition? No, it says black. Okay. So I'm just going to take this black watercolor pencil crayon, and I'm just going to remember that fear of the blank page. Well, it's not blank anymore. So we've got it down. Notice the cold press paper really has some tooth to it. So you see, if I was on smooth or a hot press watercolor paper, this would actually be more of a solid line. But because this has texture on it, you don't get that solid line. You get that some color, some not, some color, some not, because of that texture. That's something to consider when you're using watercolors. And you will find, and I hope you do, try different types of paper. There's cold press. There's hot press, and there is, they consider it rough paper. And so it's rougher than cold press. I usually go kind of in between a hot press or a cold press. Cold press is this one that I'm showing you with a little bit of tooth, it's called. The little has some texture, you can feel it. The hot press, when you feel it, it's smooth. And then the rough has more texture than this. So depending on your works and what you do on it, it will really affect how your paint shows up. The key is to find out, as I mentioned before, what you like. I would suggest, if you have the money, try buying maybe a pad of cold press, a pad of hot press, and if you can find a pad of rough, do that as well. The next thing what I'm going to do is taking my water in my spritzer. Oh, I thought the cap was on. It wasn't. So I'm just going to, and look at immediately when I put that on, it reacts. Look how intense that is. Okay, you can play with it a little bit, let it run. Next step, what I'm going to do is actually take the blow dryer to it. Okay, what I want to do is see if I can actually lift some of this, because I want more white to show. Tilted it, and that's okay, but I want a little bit more white. So what I'm taking, damp brush, and I am wetting the area that I'm wanting to lift. So wet it, give it a little time to soak in. Then you take a clean paper towel or paper, and you press and you lift. You see? So a little bit is coming up. Just a little bit. I mean, it's just a stain, but I just wanted a little bit more showing through. Good. I'm going to put some in here too. Again, let it soak in. Not a whole lot of time, just the amount that it takes me to talk and then press it. So again, same area and press. Get that water up and get some of that pigment up. See, a little bit, not much. That's okay. So now I've got my wax. I want some of what I have right here to show through. So I'm going to have some of the gray and the black show up, but I'm also going to have the white. So I'm making some lines here. You can't see it because it's clear, right? Now, there is a thing called masking, and you can do masking with tape, right? You can do masking with paper. You can do masking with a clear, technically clear wax, and you can do masking with a special watercolor masking fluid. So again, I want to keep some of that white. So this will resist the water and the pigment. Again, this is just allowing my intuition to kind of lead me. I don't have any plans. Yeah. So I'm going to do little circles here because I love using the bubble wrap and I love circles for some reason. So I'm going to I did a circle here. I did a circle there. I'm going to do a circle here. It's not going to be a perfect circle, remember, because this has texture. And I'm going to do a circle here. Again, it's not going to be a circle. It's kind of going to be a circle, but again, it's not going to be perfect because of the good old paper. Now, I don't know if you can see that. The little glint there, that's the wax. I want to play with this, the violet. I love this, the quinacridone magneta, quinacridone violet as well. I've never used the violet before, so it looks really, really, really dark. right? But again, the beauty of watercolor is you add water. Make sure those caps go on tight. Okay, so this is the Magneto, which is technically red, right? So one has had a little bit more purple, one is a little bit more red. I'm going to bring in, gee, I'm having a hard time with the screws. Okay, I'm going to start with Prussian blue. This is old container, so it's going to be, yeah, it's thick. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm thinking I want to smear it, but my concern is it's so dark. Okay. No, I had the first inkling to go like this. There we go. Okay. Let's do another little area here. Just a little bit. Yep, there we go. Got it. Didn't even get any. There we go. There's a little bit more. Again, not using watercolors as they're intended. Usually do stuff like this with acrylics, right? Do I have anything there? No. Okay, let's do something there. Kind of did a line and then brought it down. Sorry if my palette got in the way. I'm going to do one here, bringing it up there and go straight across like that. It's pretty thick. There we go. Just little pieces of color. Okay, I'm gonna clean that so it will have a nice edge for the next one. Some things like this you have to kind of stop in your middle of your painting to clean, because you want to use this again if needed, right? And you want to use it next time because, well, you want to. So here we go. I'm going to just take a little bit of paint and kind of activate that. There we go. So bring that deepness in there. I had a nice dry brush there and I messed it up there. Follow that shape there. I can lift some of it up there like that. I like this edge here. I want to kind of bring this down. I'm going to water this down and get this a little bit more. There we go. Just bring a wet brush in there and let it flow. Let it do some magic there. I think I got some water underneath here. That's the thing with the tape. There's not 100% guarantee about anything, is there? I don't want to go all the way across. There we go. Again, water, clean the brush, so then we get some nice flow here, right? Oh, see that resist? Oh, love it. Now let's bring in purple. Is this the purple? This looks like, it's not the violet. Well, it is the violet, I guess. Doesn't look like the violet. Okay, well, see, I've never played with it, so what do I know? Again, like I've never taken any type of swatches or anything like that, right? I'm just going to just add, make it darker, and then just make it darker near the edge here. Now I can go over this. If I want this deeper and to really stand out, then what I can do is go over again in a glaze. And if you don't know what a glaze is, I'll come back to that and I'll show you. I want to bring that in there. I want to just, yeah, because we didn't do a really, oh, look at that. It's a nice combination. Oh, isn't that nice? Get a nice purple there with that combo. So this is the violet with the, oh, gee, how quickly we forget, the Prussian blue. That's nice. Really nice color, huh? You see? If I really mix them, I would get a really nice blue, purple together. See how it's kind of mixing there? I like that. One thing that I have a tendency of is I just fill the space. I get so excited with color. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There, you can do that. But one thing I want to try, more in the future, and that's why I was using the paraffin. I want to be able to use some of that white space as well. I can have that in my work. Oh, I like these color combinations. It's nice when your experimenting turns out. Again, don't worry. Don't be hard on yourself if yours isn't working, because that's what we're trying to do, is figure out what color combinations are we saying, oh my gosh, I really like that. Those two colors together. They play nice. So I'm just going to pretend this is carrying on over up here. So I'm going to carry that shape. You see that? I'm going to lift that blue up. There we go. Going to want to intensify that color a bit more. Beautiful mixture there. Now, for glazing, this has to be dry, so I'm going to come back to it later. Thinking this might be a nice spot for that quinacone violet, huh? Quinacridone violet. As a former teacher, I have trouble with words. I have trouble, not with necessarily words, but names. And kind of the quinacridone colors give me a tough time there. What I can do is, say if you think, oh, that's too dark, what you can do when it's still wet, I'm fine with this color, but I just want to show you, you can go like this and see you get just a tint of it remaining. That's kind of neat, isn't it? So you can just get a light variation of that color. But I'm going to go in and do that color again because I like that color. But there's lots of options of things you can do. Let's try the red, right? Or it's not Magneta. It's called Magneta. Magenta. Oh my gosh. I am brutalizing words. Magenta. Oh, I was really pronouncing that wrong. Oh, the light bulb went off there. Okay. See the red in this? Yeah, see? You can see this is much more purple. See? Versus the red. It's really... You seen the red there? Yeah. Much more red. Okay. My intuition's saying go in here. Oh, pulling up that blue. Oh, there's my circle. Doing that shape again, right? I'm going to just carry that shape off over here. So that, I'm not even showing that red because the blue made such a beautiful color. Oh my gosh, with that. Love it. Oh, I'm loving these mixtures of, with the Prussian blue, with the magenta, and then the violet. Oh, look how luscious that looks. Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. I love color. I really do. I think it's the most beautiful thing. I'm going to play with that right in here. So I'm going to be bringing this as a purple, but I'm wanting to do the red first and then bring the blue in, right? You see what I'm doing? So here's that blue, and now I'm going to go over it, wet it, you see? And there we have the magic happening. And because this is wet, it's going to bleed. Now, I'm not sure how much it's going to bleed. My brush wasn't really wet, but it's happening there. It's a little bit happening here. There is still a fine line there. I don't want to go in with my brush right now, because if I do, I'm going to create what's called those broccolis or blossoms. I'm wanting not to create those today. So I'm going to do my best not to. Oh, these colors are just, they're doing something for me, I tell you. They really are. Okay, I'm going to put the magenta here. And again, we get the resist. So remember I said I was going to do a glazing on this. You can tell it's dry when you touch it and it doesn't feel cool. So with that, I'm going to take another color. So this was the this was the violet. Do you want the violet? You know what I'm going to do? Violet, and I'm going to turn it into magenta. So I'm going to do the magenta here, bring that in, bring that out, about right here. Then clean my brush quick. And here is the glaze of the violet. My brush is too wet. Bring it down onto my paper towel. And then here we're going to blend the two together. Can't really see the difference right now, can you? Oh, beautiful color, isn't it? Speaks to me. Oh, look at that wet on wet there. See how it's becoming very branch-like. Oh, look at the color separation here on the tape. Very interesting. I'm just going to sop that up, just hopefully not letting it, taking away some extra so we just have those nice crisp edges, hopefully. Let's do here. I'm going to put some color down in this section. So then there's going to be a variation. There still will be kind of a bleed because the paper is wet. So it's going to bleed, but I'm going to have a greater color in this section here. You see that? I get so excited when I paint sometimes, you know, it's such a joy. The times when I'm not feeling a joy and I use this as an expression, it really does make a difference. I do use color to show my emotion. I use line and shape. I use all the things available to me as an artist in order to express what I'm thinking and feeling. Didn't have the variation that I wanted there. Very interesting that the red, I guess it was the base underneath. You know, there was not that much of a difference maybe between the colors that it shows like that. So maybe we'll try something here. Oh, got a little bit of blue, so we might be altering that. Oh, right, here's some color. Oh, there we go. Now I might get some wet on wet because this might be still damp. Totally forgot about that, so we'll just see. I like the variation with the blue because I did just a touch of a blue stamp there with the blue color. And then when I brought my brush over, you see that? It's nice, very nice gradation there. Okay, remember, Barbara, we're working on leaving some white. I'm going to take some of this blue. Okay, and go like this. Isn't that I love Prussian blue. I just love it. Oh, it's just a beautiful blue. Beautiful. Yeah, you have to think when you bring a blue together, or sometimes do you want those shapes to kind of turn into each other. You know what I mean? Like here I've got this blue here. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to join them. Very dark, no gradation. With the way I have my camera situated, it's a little bit further out from me. So when I do this, you know, I want to bring the artwork closer to me. And what happens is, well, yeah. So I'm just doing some lines here. I don't know why. I just thought some lines might be a nice thing to add. And so if I put another color on top, which I probably will, you know, it'll change because of that blue there. I'm just playing with these two. Now this is a cobalt violet. Should we bring in another blue? Or will that just change the whole mood? It might, huh? It might. Because the cobalt blue is a much brighter blue. You see that? It's much brighter blue. This is much more intense. I think I'm going to try, right? I'm going to try. I picked this one out, even though I've used it before. I don't remember using it. But this is a cobalt blue. This is a cobalt violet. So I'm thinking it must have some of this cobalt blue. Sorry about that. It must have some of this cobalt blue in here. So we're going to try that too. Oh, that's kind of nice, huh? Kind of nice. Yeah, I haven't used my watercolors like I did before. The times that I spent teaching, I found I spent more time in my expressive journal, my visual diary journal, I called it. And it was used to, well, express my emotions, express the things that I was going on. Now, oh, this is a warmer blue. Maybe I'm going to add some of this cobalt with this color, the Prussian blue. Okay, so it's still a blue, but it's a little different. This is wet beside it, but I'm going to chance it. Not chance it, but I think it'll work out fine. Let's do kind of an edge where it's darker and then let it bleed up. There we go. So it's just adds a little, not warmth, but a little light to it. I'm using these shapes today to actually make my image. My usual way of doing it is just to leave it, like just kind of, yeah, it's in the background, but I don't let it decide what I'm going to do. Today, I'm really letting it decide what I'm doing. Now, again, here's that thing where you could take this color and you want it a little lighter, you could take your paper towel and just do light touches like that. So I'm just going to wet the whole surface. So it's not necessarily going to, I'm not going to get any broccolis as such. At least I don't think, because the whole space is wet. Now, I went a little bit below my shape here. I'm just going to, oh, there, I lifted it up. See? I lifted up paint. That's a perfect example. If you want to lift an area, so you wet an area, right? And let the water sit, and you want to use clean water. And then, so you let it sit, and then with it sitting for a bit, not long, you're able to lift it up. So I'm just going to kind of have it come like this down. Playing with your paint sometimes, like shifting it, you can get some really nice lines. I'm going to need some texture here. You see, this is wherever you have these, because you don't get that nice smooth line. This looks kind of funny against just a solid here. So I'm going to introduce some texture here that it'll kind of look like it was supposed to be. With this cobalt, I'm going to mix it with my Prussian blue. Oh, there's my circle. Forgot about it. Oh, there's my other one right there. Yep. Okay, I'm going to take just a little dabs of the dark Prussian blue, like straight from the tap. And I'm just gonna literally tap it when the water's still wet on my paper, and I'm gonna get some bleeding then. Just want to get a little interesting, some different values. I'm not going to go all the way. But there, just kind of have it mix. And let's just bring, again, it's going to be a glaze, right? Because it's right over another color. So this color and the color I'm going to be putting on, which is the Prussian blue with the cobalt blue. I'm going to be putting them together on top of this. So we're going to create a different color. There we go. Just by the two of them plain. Now that nice little gradation we had, it's kind of lost here. Again, the beauty of watercolors, I love when it's wet. I'm kind of sometimes disappointed when it dries because it's not as vibrant. So, but again, see, remember how vibrant that was? Okay, showing that wet on wet. Yeah, it's not there. So let's work on that. Let's do something there. Oh, and I'm going to put a little cobalt with the Prussian right here. What color do I... Oh, I haven't tried... Right. I haven't tried the cobalt violet. Not that I have to, but I think it would be a nice combination with this. I think it'll work really nice. So let's just get it wet here. Again, I'm using it more solid instead of transparent. Oh, some blue is coming down here. We'll let it come down. A little darker blue there. Bring more of that violet in. It's really mixing with this dark, right? Dark blue, but it's also messing with the dark line that we did with the black that we started with. I think this is it's a different paint. I think white, excuse me, has been added. So it's it's not your normal color of a watercolor as such. So, yeah, I don't like that right now, but let's maybe activate that blue a little bit more, right? See where that takes us. This is the stage where I'm at, where I'm going, not really liking it. And I find every artist that I've talked to, you get to that point. You get to that point where you're like, I don't know about this. This isn't really working for me. If you get to that point, you're on the right track, because it's just the part of the creative process. The beginning, you're all fired up and excited, and oh, you love the colors, and right? Exactly what I was going through. And then you go like, right now, it's like, oh, things are kind of mushed, but they're not, they're not where I want it to be. But you just push through it. That's the key. You got to push through it. So often we'll just end it and we'll just say, oh, forget it, and I'll throw it out, right? You have to give yourself that opportunity to pause. Now, you can pause and walk away from it, okay? That's a good thing to do. Don't throw it out. Just walk away. You can go, I don't know. I don't know about this. Oh, I want to throw it out. Don't throw it out. Just maybe go and listen to some music, do something like, like I said, pause. Walk away. It can be 5 minutes. Just go to the bathroom, take a break from it. Or it can be longer. Come to it the next day or 2 weeks later. But come back to it. And then with fresh eyes, you start again. And believe me, you'll work it out. Now, guaranteed that it's every single one's going to be worked out? No, not at all. You know, you got to know that it's just, it'll work out sometimes. Doesn't work out all the time. So I mixed two colors together. I mixed the that was the violet with my Prussian blue. So I've got a lovely purple here. What's happening is because watercolor is more transparent, and I've worked with it somewhat transparent, right? In the fact that some of this, but I've also worked with it in a way that is solid. Well, what's happening with the transparent? See how we remember majority of the space we had was gray. It's going to turn down the vibrancy of the color just because that is your base. Just be aware of that, right? I'm just going to go like this. Oh, that's really liquidy there. Oh, okay. It's going like that. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that dribble. Oh, it's going into the other one. I want it to go in the other one. You think it will? Yeah, let's just encourage it. Let's give it a little more liquid. Oh, it stopped. I'm okay. I like that drip. I like that drip a lot. We're going to go this way now. There we go. I like that. It's actually giving some movement. Oh, I like that. There's so much water, it might actually just fill the color. It might just, it won't end up like that. I'm hoping, but I'm thinking it won't. I'm going to bring that type of purple in. Okay, so I've got some of those lines. Remember those lines that were underneath? Okay, they're there still. Just lifting some of that with the sponge. I'm going to take a little bit of that liquid away. So how I'm going to do it, take a tip of my paper towel, and I'm just going to set it right there. And it's going to alter the colors and the way they're kind of blending, because I'm taking away some of that color. I want my brush to be a little drier so I can make some nice dry brush strokes. Let's see, that's too much moisture still. All right, let's try this now. Good, good, good. Getting some of that texture showing up. You see that? With my brush doing a little drier, I'm able to, oh, am I in camera? No, I'm not. With my brush in drier, see, I'm able to get color on top and have the color below show. And that's all with a dry brush. So what's happening is it's not necessarily my color. Well, it is color, but it is because this paper has some texture, right? It has textures. Now I'm squinting my eyes at this and I'm seeing dark and I'm seeing very light with the whites on that one. Now I need more medium. So what's a medium color for me? Let's just try using the pure magenta. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's funny. I'm going to actually paint the whole thing. Oh, there's some white coming up. I want some variation here, so I'm going to kind of divide that up on that one side and have that be a little brighter. Probably we're going to put some texture on top of it. I'm going to bring some of that violet back. It's dry here. So that is the cobalt violet, right? And bring in some colors out a little bit more. So I've got dark, I've got some mediums, so it's not too bad. This one's quite dark in the center and got really light points. This is not too bad. We got, kind of. So bring my cobalt blue, or cobalt violet. Very interesting color. And let's just do a glaze over top of here. I'm going to bring that cobalt violet. I'm thinking bringing it in there. I'm just going to leave the white of these guys. I'll be adding white, but I'm really coloring in a lot of stuff. But we're just playing, right? We're just playing. So thank you for playing with me. I enjoyed myself. Besides the terrible mispronunciation of words. Today wasn't my day. Anyways, but you know, that's the beauty of playing and experimenting. You don't know unless you try. So I tried. I knew of that one color, the Prussian blue, but the two others, well, actually the three others, right? Yeah, because I totally forgot about this one, even though I've used it before. Yeah. So this one was the cobalt blue. I knew about this one, this cobalt blue. It was these two, the Cridon was one was violet and one was magenta. So those two were new for me. Well, I knew about the magenta one. Love that. Actually, that's, yeah, mistake there. But yeah, and just trying, right? And I think it's important to do that in life. You know, we get scared, but it's important to push through our fear, because who knows what's waiting on the other side. And so, you know, it doesn't work out. It's just paint and a bit of your time. But the key is, for me, and I hope you learn this as well, that if you can go with an attitude of play and just being inquisitive like a child, you can handle the disappointments a lot better. Because you go, wow, I learned how not to do that. I knew that didn't work well. So I encourage you to just go and look at things as a process, to see it as an opportunity to just muck around with some paint or whatever you choose. I would love to see your work. So please post them on Instagram if you have an Instagram one, and then tag me at Barbara Lynn Burns. Barbara Lynn Burns. So, and then again, your comments are welcome. Teach me how to say those words. But thank you so much for spending time with me. And I'm glad you shared your me time with me, because I was sharing my me time with you. So have a wonderful day. Be good and be gentle with yourself. And keep playing. You never know what you'll find. Love you. Have a wonderful day.